Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, from BlizzCon 2019, it's going to be Classic and Rogue in a best of 5. Bottom right-hand corner, it is the red Zerg player. It is Rogue. He won BlizzCon 2017, so you know he is incredible. In the top left-hand corner, we have probably the best Protoss player from 2019 Classic. He is sporting the color blue. A best of 5, a ZVP from the highest levels of StarCraft 2 for your Sunday series. I am hyped for this, and you should be too. Hit that like button if you are hyped. And let's go ahead and see what's going to happen here on Thunderbird, the ladder edition for game number 1. Probe scouting. Here is Classic. 16, 18, 17 for Rogue here. I'm pretty darn sure that's how it's going to go. La la la, 18 supply here for Rogue, and then sometimes people like to delay it a little bit here, but yeah, there it is. Bunk, there it is, and the probe's like, alright, so this hatchery is, yep, it's a 16 pool based on the timing, and whoa, hold on a second, why is there a drone moving out? I think maybe he's going to check. Oh, it's a fake cannon rush. It's a fake cannon rush here, just because, you know, worker scouting is so darn impossible to do if you are a Zerg, because then you're behind on the late game. But man, if you had worker scouted, you would know there's not a forge back home. No, there certainly is not. Just a little bit of a fake out here from Classic. No big deal. This is really weird to wall off, but Classic has a handle on it. I can tell you that much. Alright, so the probe's like, la 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 la, no second gas, no super duper anything crazy thing going on happening here. No super quick lair. Just gonna go for queens. Delaying speed just a little bit here. 2 queens on the way and then a third base coming up from Rogue. Probe checking to see what's going on there too. So thanks for joining me today for your Sunday series on the Falcon Paladin channel. Happy to have you here. Let me know in the comments if you're stoked for this series. I am stoked for this series. You may have seen a couple of moments from this series as 1 or 2 of them got really passed around on Twitter super hard over the last week or so. So you may be like, Classic and Rogue, I saw something happen. Yes, you did. But don't spoil it. Okay, don't spoil it for people who are in the comments who don't quite know what's going on. Because, well, I mean, I don't know. If you're reading the comments on a YouTube video, maybe you kind of deserve to be spoiled. So we don't worry about that. Put the comments in, what you're excited about to see here, and we will all have a good time together. That is a Stargate opening. Is he putting it here? Interesting place for it for Classic. Overlords checking about. And now this is a map that does have those rich Vespene geysers. Not super accessible, though. There are other maps where those are much easier to get for Zerg, and boy, do Protoss and Terran hate playing on those maps. So I'm not sure we're going to see that in this series necessarily. I'm going to tell you, I don't generally watch live StarCraft live, because I like to be surprised, and I like to be interested and excited by things that are happening. But I admit, I did watch all of BlizzCon live. All of the round of 8. Watched every single one of those series, including the ZVZs. Really had fun with those. And so, I mean, some really amazing, I'm just going to point this out, really good ZVZs, too. Like, it wasn't, oh, it was over in 4 minutes and the Baneling got a good hit and that was it. No, 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 no. We're talking Lurker, Hydra. We're talking Ultralisks. We're talking Viper play. It was the best ZVZ can get. That's what you expect from BlizzCon, man, is the best ZVZ can get. They finished their transfer? They sure did. For some reason, not sure what that's all about. Oh, did you also hear about the patch notes coming in? There were patch notes that we're going to see. Oh, it might have already popped, honestly, by the time you see this. But basically, one big one is that creep tumors can't be canceled. You toss it down, and if it gets killed, it's done. You have to replant it and re-throw it out there. It's going to slow down creep spread so much for Zergs. They hate it. All right, so it's a double Oracle opening here. Man, this is so common. I almost want to know if we should start asking for Oracle pairing names rather than just single oracles. We seem to see those more often than just the single oracle these days. But this oracle's name is My Creativity. My Creativity once could slay whole comment sections with ideas. Now it struggles to kill even a single meta joke. I'm assuming that's a Joseph Atwell one, but here we go. Double oracle coming in. As is tradition, I mean, really, this isn't too crazy. I'm going to see 3 drones down, but he got a Spore already up. One of the oracles is already super injured. And yeah, I mean, 3 drones down is definitely acceptable losses here for Rogue. As we've talked about, first 10 minutes, you lose those 10 drones, you're in trouble. Versus a competent Protoss. Rogue is entirely scary. We've seen Raynor shake off that curse too. So I'm just wondering if that doesn't apply to the super highest levels of StarCraft. right? It's like, you can lose those 10 drones and you can make it up. You can make it up later on, no big deal. Third base coming in from Classic because, you know, it's Thunderbird. It's a macro-style map. Queens trying to get rid of that. Phoenix really wants to kill the Overlord, but the Overlord has speed and should be just fine. Oracle's darting on in, getting a couple more kills and not dying. The important thing is the Oracles do not die. Yeah, like that. One Oracle does go down. Oracles are so important for picking off things like Ravagers. If there was a big Roach Ravager attack coming in here, for throwing Revelation down on groups of Lings that are running about here too. That is so nice to see. The Adepts trying to get in for additional scout. No, they decide not to. And what is this we see? Evolution Chamber. I'm waiting. Okay, once that lair finishes, things will get interesting for Rogue. We'll see what he's up to here. Classic on the other side is going for the Templar Archives. Liking to see that quite a bit here. And is moving out with a Warp Prism for some early aggression. Now, generally, what I believe as far as PvZ goes, at least in the current patch, which again might be entirely different, is you really don't want to go late game against Zerg. It's a bad experience. So we'll see. Going for Glial Reconstitution, handful of roaches, and +1 missile attack here, Rogue, and setting up for his fourth, it looks like probably there. If I had to guess, and this Archon is in trouble. Oh, it does go down. Nice pick off on that Archon. Oracle didn't actually kill all of those Lings. I figured maybe it would have. Maybe it didn't have the energy to do so at the time. So that's a massive pickup for Rogue, killing one of those Archons. One Archon, not as scary as two. And especially with a handful of roaches that are coming out right now, Rogue is totally fine. Infestation Pit on the way. He's really teching up strong right now. And a bunch of Zealots. All right, charge lots do come in. One thing about a feature patch, too, is they're going to get rid of the charge aspect, the charge damage that charge lots get. But they will be faster just normally once they have that charge upgrade. So I cannot tell you the last time I saw something like this work against a Zerg player at the highest levels. I'm watching it, and it looks really scary, and I would die to this without question because I wouldn't get the roaches in time, but Rogue got the roaches in time. They just keep punching out right now. He's not even really bothering to get the roaches into the little tucked-in corners here between his hatchery. He's just winning. He's just killing these guys, no big deal, easy peasy. Glial Reconstitution wasn't even done. He didn't even need it at all here. And now he's in a pretty happy spot. He's got a bunch of roaches. He's got a Nidus. He's got the Infestation Pit. So we could see some Swarm Hosts here, as Swarm Hosts are a favorite of Rogue in ZVP and really for every Zerg player in the world in the current patch. It's just so good. It is so hard for Protoss to deal with. It looks ridiculously overpowered. And here's an example. Where is this? I saw it. It's in the main, and it is hidden. No, Classic. Why? Look at these roaches coming up, putting up a distraction at the front. They're going to try to deny that upgrade. They do deny the +2 upgrade for the ground weapons. And then the roaches coming into the main base, going after these probes, starting to take down workers. Attack at the front getting chased away because that was, again, mostly a distraction. But taking down that +2 was huge. Depowering that other forge. Really slowing down upgrades for Classic in game number 1 here. Fantastic job. Another Nidus Swarm does erupt. Where, though? Oh, right at the front. Jeez, that is a brazen one. And 8 Swarm Hosts in production. Okay, so this is what Rogue does, everyone. This is what he does. He goes for a handful of roaches and Ravagers. He gets a whole ton of Swarm Hosts. He pops them up. He launches them at your third base, and then at your natural base, and then into your main. And tries. Oh, here comes a Nidus in the main base, too. One down to the south. This is why you want to have your Oracles. You want to have Oracles to try to snipe down Nidus Worms if you can. And here comes that first wave of Locust, and there's no splash damage here at all except for one Archon. So trying to do some fancy lifting up here. I like this. I really enjoy this. Out of Classic. Did he go through that without losing a thing? Classic. Classic. You dog. That was amazing. What a fantastic, fantastic play. All right. So he's holding out, man. These Nidus Worms are just coming up all over the place. This one's fine. This one's fine. This one's fine. Another wave. Ready to go. Almost ready to go. Not quite ready to go. Is he coming up the rest of the guys? Now that's the key here, is having also a regular ground army. Don't go all Swarm Hosts, because there's 41 seconds where they launch their Locust and then they're stupid bad. And they're on cooldown and don't do anything for you but take up supply. So jumping on down. Once again, no real splash damage here. The Blink Micro is insanely good. Good stasis. Catching a bunch of these Roaches and Ravagers on the front lines, but the attack's still hard to handle right now. Depowering 2 of these Warp Gates, as well as the Cybernetics Core. Another Nidus coming into the main base right now. This is insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at Rogue giving everything he has at Classic in game 1 of this best of 5. Another Nidus Swarm erupts in the main base. Nothing's actually coming out of it yet, much to Classic's happiness. Another Nidus coming at the third because, oh, there we go. Roaches do come out into the main base. The army is just trying to deal with this army at the front if they can. And then once again, Locust popping and pushing, and oh, these Immortals are dead. No, War Prism trying to keep them alive. The shuttling is fantastic. The Roaches are getting handled by Stalkers inside the main base. 7 probes go down. It's not a huge number, but it's 68 to 53 workers right now in favor of Rogue. The Cybernetics core goes down. The gateway goes down. Another gateway is going to go down. We've got another attack at the 3rd base. This is just so much Nidus everywhere, and Classic just does not have an answer for this at all here in game number 1. He's down 131 to 52 army supply. Just popping out swarm hosts inside the main base, because why not at this stage? I mean, Zealots are in here to try to do stuff. Stalkers are in here to try to do stuff. Corrosive Wiles landing everywhere. And that's it. Rogue gets the win in game number 1, looking abjectly terrifying in this best of 5 without question. I'm not even... Wow. I don't even know what to say after that game. That was just domination. That was just Rogue. This is what he did against players like Showtime. He played in the earlier rounds of the WCS Global Finals. I believe he did this to, who else did he do this to? Trap, I think he did it to as well. I'm trying to remember who else was in his group, but he definitely did it to Showtime a bunch. And Showtime just did not have an answer for it at all. So the fact that Classic fell to this is not entirely surprising. I do question. In the past when I've seen this beat, I've seen Showtime beat this before with Storm. Right? You get a bunch of a High Templar, basically storm the Locusts as soon as they land, and then they're not a problem anymore. And it's just so much easier to handle than trying to use Blink Stalkers or trying to use Archons to handle it. And I think maybe it's because Rogue has a pretty scary Roach Ravager army that it isn't... Maybe you do want to handle it with Storm, and so you'd rather... I don't know, actually. That doesn't make any sense either. I'm not sure why. So somebody in the comments, please explain to me why Protoss don't get Storm in this situation. They have time to do so, obviously. They've got Archons. They've got Immortals. Like, you can definitely get Storm researched in time to get some Storms off, but... Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just too fast for Storm to really show up. Don't know. Honestly, don't know what to tell you. All right, so let's look here at the units lost. It's 12,000 Protoss units lost. Well, 12,000 resources of Protoss units lost, and 8,000 resources lost for Rogue. At the end of the day, 46 Roaches went down, which is a lot of Roaches. Yeah, that's fair, but 31 probes down for 5 drones is a fair trade. Any Zerg will make any day of the week. 34 Stalkers out. A warp gate. We got a cybernetics core, and again, delaying those upgrades was massive too. I'm not sure if it made a difference in the end, but it was a big deal. So that's game 1 of our best of 5. I love casting this stuff. It is so fun for me. So again, hit that like, hit that subscribe if it's your first time here, and let's go to game number 2. Game 2, Acropolis, the ladder edition. Bottom right, Rogue. Top left, Classic. Same spawning positions. And, yeah, there are no 4-player maps in the map pool right now, but I don't know. Maybe next season there will be. We will wait and see. All right, Classic. I feel like you have to kill a Rogue before the Swarm Host Nidus play, but... Ugh. Just don't let them get there is a strategy I don't really like in StarCraft. Because when I was playing StarCraft back in Heart of the Swarm... I had trouble with Sky Toss. And the answer was, just don't let them get there. And I'm like, Zerg is a defender. Don't you know that? Zerg, according to how they designed it, Blizzard intends for Zerg to defend, 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 defend. And then once you have a army or a strategy that will work for attacking, then go ahead and attack. Anyway, probe scouting here. Dun, dun, dun. Very intense. And once again, a drone. Just checking to make sure. Just checking to make sure that everything here is okay. Nothing weird. There's not a forge here. And 1 gate expand. Nothing could be further from weird. You know about the Falcon Paladin Hour? I'm probably sure you do at this point, but just search Falcon Paladin in your podcast app. Or just search abyssaltrip.com or search Falcon Paladin Hour in general in your internet browser. You will find it. We do betting. We did betting on this, actually. Oh, did we do betting on BlizzCon? You want to know what I bet on? Go check it out. We posted it the day before the BlizzCon started. And, well, things happened. Anyway, not going to spoil exactly who I bet on. You should check it out. dun, 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 dun. Third base on the way. Traditionally, it's gonna be up here. Because, you know, having a base down a ramp is bad, and that's not too bad to wall off. If you're Protoss or Terran, or if you're Zerg, not that bad to defend either. It's going to be a Stargate opening, because that's what you do in the PvZ. And the Lings are here to make sure that the third base goes down without really too much trouble at all. Trying to see if there's an Adept, and you know there's not yet. Classic looks like delayed the Adept a little bit to get the Nexus out sooner, so playing a little bit greedier, just betting on the fact that Rogue's not going to go for a crazy early attack, and he wants to go for that Nidus stuff. So far, gamble correct. So far, I gotta say, Classic is right that Rogue's not gonna do, you know, 2.5 base Roach Ravager timing or some kind of a Baneling bust. That'd be interesting too, actually. You don't see that a lot, honestly, in these super high-level games. But it can be pretty darn effective at the lower levels if Protoss isn't accurately scouting what you're trying to do to them. It's been my experience anyway. Adept comes in, but there's a Queen and there's 3 Lings, and there's just not... It's not gonna happen, Adept. You're gonna scout, check for the lair timing. Okay, no lair. Which means no Glory Reconstitution. Actually, no Roach Warren yet either. I don't know what Rogue would do otherwise, although going for mutas could be pretty interesting. I love that pylon from Classic. What's that all about? And we have an Oracle. So this Oracle's name is mislabeled Sentry. One day a Sentry was living the force field life when a voice in the sky says, that Oracle blocked the roaches up in a force field. Confused and obedient, the Sentry learned how to fly and shoot green death beams to please the unknowable voice, forever losing his ability to control the battlefield's choke points. Sad Sentry beep. Beep. Referring to the time I referred to Sentries as oracles or ground oracles in one of my casts once. That was a good time. Whoa! Whoa! Classic! Twilight Council, Gateway, Gateway. Oh, does this ever feel like Dark Templar play to me? How much gas has he taken? That's your third gas. We got a fourth gas? Got a fourth gas. Okay. So definitely not going to be Zealots early. Ooh. We go in Dark Shrine. Oh, it's Adepts. It's Resonating Glaives. Okay, so big time Resonating Glaives attack coming your way. You can handle this with Banelings, or you can handle this with Roaches. Seems like Rogue is more of a Roach guy. That seems to be his style. And yeah, that Spore popped up just in time, and this little poke's not going to do anything at all. Not at the natural base, not really in the main base either. So that's a bit of a tell, actually. If the Protoss opponent doesn't go for multiple Oracles, then could indicate something's happening here. He's checking for missing pylons and stuff. I don't know if he's going to see any. All right, so here come the Adepts. So much of the production is up there. Is Rogue scouting this? Rogue is scouting this. Oh, he's going to see it. He's going to see it. Rogue gets the scout off, sees the Adepts, sees the Twilight Council, sees the Warp Gates, says, this is what we're dealing with. I see. So here goes nothing. Creep spreading on out, immediately producing 10 Zerglings and 2 Roaches, spending his money really effectively, injecting as much as he can. Resonating Glaives is almost done, which does increase the attack speed of Adepts by 40%, because it's super mega good. Alright, here we go. Adepts coming on in. They could do pretty well against Queens. They massacre drones. They're pretty good against Zerglings in general. And that Queen's going to pull on back. The Adepts are like, we'll kill your buildings. We'll kill your hatch if you let us do it. You can tell they have the Resonating Glaives because it's orange on that attack. That Queen count is insane, though, because, again, traditionally, huge Queen counts is what you want. And bam! Done! The Lings are dead. The Roaches are trying to follow up this ramp. Stasis Ward tries to trap the Roaches up. Does catch only 2 of them. Nice job by Rogue, not catching more than that. Drones getting attacked, and then the shade over to the third base. This is so annoying. Are they going to get the third? Going to get the third base. I don't think there's any saving the third base here. Bam! And there it goes. Broodlings and Lings trying to attack on in. Shading into the natural base. No. Cancels that shade. Happy killing the third base. And we are officially a 2-base to 2-base economy right now. Wow. What an opening salvo there. Opening gambit out of Classic. Making it happen. Losing some of these Adepts, though. Not super great. And then pulling back to where there are now Immortals. Because, of course, there are Immortals. If you force Roaches out on your opponent, Immortals are worth their weight in gold. If it was Banelings, no. If it was Banes, it could probably be more force fields and maybe some, what do you want? Maybe Adepts? Against those Banes? Yeah, wouldn't be too many Banelings. You'd be fine. Another Immortal here, too. Classic. But yeah, this is it. This is how you stop Rogue. You don't let him sit back and just deflect your Oracle attacks until he has Infestors and, well, Infestation Pit. Anyway, all right, man. So army supply 45 to, or rather 64 to 66, pretty even there. 45 to 45 on the worker count too. Warp Prism in production. I'm not sure that Classic wants to go in here. All right, well those Lings are dead. Yeah, that's not a great angle, guys. Oh, Ravager's getting caught out. No, trying to use Corrosive Biles to get out of there, but can't quite do it. Sneaking himself through the force field seems like a risky idea, and Classic does decide it is time to pull on back. All right, here we go. Rogue setting up. These Immortals doing terrible damage to the Roaches. Adepts in there too. Not great against anything here, but they will use their DPS to the best of their ability. Not using Guardian Shield, which I find extremely interesting here out of Classic. He doesn't have any force fields left either, I guess. Maybe it's an energy concern. He knows this is basically an all-in right now. God, these Roaches are jumping right on top of the Immortals, though. Immortal takes that initial shot, trying to get rid of all of the Roaches before the Immortal dies. The Immortal does end up going down, but what is left here from Rogue all of a sudden? There's another Immortal that has joined the party, has 12 kills to his name. Still no third base from Rogue, and again, in general, a two-basing Protoss will wreck a two-basing Zerg day after day after day. Overlord speed is done, which is nice, I guess, if you're trying to do some stuff, but more Roaches in production. Another Immortal gonna join the party here too. Unloading, trying to get free shots off. The spines you don't want to engage into if you're the Protoss. Static defense like that is really, really good against your Protoss units. Still, Rogue, no sign of taking a third base. All he's doing is making Roaches and Roaches and more Roaches, and I just don't know if it's going to be enough here. Classic can happily sit here on these two bases for some time. Rogue is getting mined out of his main and his natural. This is a big army right now. 78 to 67 total army supply in favor of Classic. Rogue scouted this, but not in time. And this game, too, is looking really, really dicey. God, really, really dicey for Rogue right now. I can't believe he's not trying to sneak out a third base, but he feels like he needs all of the units he can. All the units he can get. All the Ravagers he can get against this particular army. That is a lot of Protoss. That is a lot of Protoss, ladies and gentlemen. They are even using the Sentry's beams to try to get through here. The Immortals in the back are taking no damage at all. I guess one of them on the left side did, but look at these Roaches going down. Upgrades. No upgrades. No ground attack upgrades for anybody right now. All we have are the Resonating Glaives. Rogue's kind of stopped microing, and I think he might just be giving up right now. Holy smokes. What has he got left? 33 army supply. Classic. Tearing through. Good game, Classic. Manages to take game 2 there to tie this series up after looking utterly overwhelmed in game number 1, having no idea what to do against Rogue, and the answer was do not let Rogue get there, and bam. Goes for the Resonating Glaives attack, takes down Rogue's third base in a hugely important play. And then from there, it's Immortal production, it's more Adepts, it's getting a bunch of Sentries, an Oracle in the mix there too, and winning the day. 3 Immortals left at the end of the day is a huge, huge number compared to just 3 Roaches and a Ravager. Rogue knew he was out, and he tapped out. 10,000 resources lost for Rogue, 7,000 for Classic. We'll call it 8 on that one, but boy, howdy, what a play, Classic. Man, if he gotten scouted just a little bit sooner, I think Rogue could have prepared for that, but got scouted too late. Rogue didn't have time to do what he wanted to do, and bam. That was the end of the rope from there. It really just went snowballed in favor of Classic. The 2 base, he never took a third. It was as much of an all-in as you are going to see. And bye. Bye. Howdy. All right, that was it for game number 2. What a series this has been so far. What's that? I don't know, something. Okay, let's move on to game number 3, though, because this is best of 5. We are just getting started. Stick with it. Don't go anywhere. It's a disco bloodbath for game number 3. Left side, Rogue. Right side, Classic. Wow. Classic was saving that build, I feel like. It was incredible. It was top-notch. It was on point to take a game off of Rogue in the BlizzCon. Whoosh. Okay, so Rogue, at this point, I mean, honestly, if I was Rogue, I'd be scouting everywhere. I'd be like, look, here's the plan. If I get up to my Nidus Swarms, my Swarm hosts, you're dead. So there's gotta be things that Classic is doing here to not let you get there, man. Yet, still, no drone scouting. Just none. None whatsoever. And I know this is my rant. This is my rant. I just feel like if Zerg was allowed to drone scout, they wouldn't die to this early stuff. But I mean, maybe that's the balance, right? Maybe Zerg just kind of accepts the early losses in exchange for being stupid good in the mid and late game. And the trade-off is, I mean, if they could, right? Can you imagine if they could effectively drone scout and still be as scary as they are in the mid game? They'd be unstoppable. So maybe that's it. It's just a question of balance. Zerg is so precariously balanced on having exactly the number of drones you can get. Losing one in the early game ruins all of it. And then you can't win after that. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that, but let me know in the comments what you think, because there are some thoughts that I have in my brain. Now you at your level of StarCraft, Worker Scout, if you come in here like around the 2.5 minute mark and you're seeing no expansion yet, prepare for the one base attack. If you come in and you're seeing the tech of choice is going to be a Dark Shrine, great. Do that too. I'm just saying, there's stuff you can do here if you scout on in early. I'm shocked that Classic is not scouting at all. I'm going to be honest with you. Did not anticipate that whatsoever. But I guess while nothing's happening, go ahead and check out the merch. It's falconpaladin.store. Super easy URL to remember. You can find things like hoodies, because it is getting cold in the northern hemisphere, and hats, and t-shirts, and ugly Christmas sweater t-shirts, which, I don't know, is that a thing? I guess that's a thing. But yeah, check it out, falconpaladin.store. You can change, it used to default to US, just kidding, it used to default to Australian dollars, but we changed it to where you can change it to your local currency, so please check it out. Alright, where are we with this stuff? That is a start gate opening, no big deal, third base from Rogue. He's like, huh, not getting bothered at all today. There's no probe, there's no adept. I mean, I guess the adept is coming in now, but it's really nice, actually, to be left alone for this long. Rogue has got to say, he's pulled all the workers off of gas except for one, which means he wants to drone up super duper duper fast, and he's doing it to this point, making 3 at a time. Got a handful of lings to deal with this adept. Any shots you can get off on the adept are free good shots. For sure, Overlord does scout on in to see if there's anything untoward, and really there's nothing to see at this point. There's really not. Oracle on the way. Oracle's name is going to be Tassadar. In order to save the universe from the wrath of Amon, the Xel'Naga Uros felt the need to impersonate the hero of the Protoss, Tassadar. To further sell his ruse, Oros removed Tassadar from the Kala with his Xel'Naga power so that no one would ever suspect he wasn't Tassadar. The real Tassadar was stuffed in the one place Oros suspected no one would ever think to look for Tassadar inside a Protoss Oracle. Tassadar now thinks he has been brought back as a new form of Dragoon and does his best in the service of Ire, even if nobody will believe he's the real Tassadar and not just an AI. Good one. I like that one. It's really fun. Once again, single Oracle with no Phoenix support? What is happening? Well, I guess there's the Phoenix, but he's late. I guess he wants to be able to chase away these Overlords, because Overlord scouting has been really on point thus far. Other tech here is Twilight Council, opening out of Classic. Oracle does have those 2 kills. Yeah, Queen Anti-Air is really good. And Rogue just droning up, man. Every time I look up there, he's making 3 more drones. 3 more drones, 3 more drones. Never stopping. Overlords are dying, even though they have the speed upgrade, just because Phoenix are faster than they are, and they can kill them eventually. Another speed Overlord coming in. Man, Rogue really wants to know what Classic is up to right now. And maybe this is an effect of the last game. He's just like, hey, hold on a second. Something crazy happened. It's going to be Resonating Glaives again. Alright, well, something's being researched, he says. And at this point, based on the number of adepts that are over here, it's going to be Resonating Glaives. So here they come into the third base. Dude, Rogue, you can't just die to a regular adept attack, can you? He just walked these across the map. He didn't proxy them at all. Alright, so Zerglings get a bit of a surround here. And they're going to do okay if Resonating Glaives isn't done for the numbers they have. One adept goes down. They are going for it, though. These guys are going to finish this transfer. The Lings are trying to get on top of them, getting shots off as soon as they finish that shade. And yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot of Lings are dying. Maybe a couple drones will die. Perfect pull out of Rogue, making sure that's not much of a problem. And then they get on out. Okay, so that's a little frustrating. That could have been a lot better, gotta say, for Classic. But in the end, can't expect much more than that with that level of an attack. Immortal in production. Working on the Night Cheese. Alright, so really, just because you beat Rogue in game number 2 with adepts with Resonating Glaives, I don't know why you think you can just do it again I'm confused by this, to be honest with you. So 9 roaches in production. Rogue happily on 3 bases. Has not lost it yet. Has not lost his third. Is on 52 total workers at 5 minutes. And making nothing but roaches and zerglings. This is how Zerg is played. When you're under direct assault, you make stuff. As soon as you destroy the attack, then you drone your face off until the next attack comes. It takes a super good game sense and really good scouting here, too. I'm really surprised Rogue hasn't made a single baneling today. Guess it's just not his style, you know? Really can't be. Because, I mean, I've just seen a lot of EU Zergs will go for banelings in that situation and really clean it up fast. But in this case, they escape. You know what I mean? They can run away from roaches and stuff. So that's going to be an immortal. In fact, it is. Okay, so Classic pretty much doing the same thing he did in game at number 2. Nothing really changing except for the fact that his warp gates are at home. And his tech is all at home here, too. He is going for a robotics bay here in game number 3. Whether that's going to be for Colossus or for Disruptor, I don't know. I think Disruptor might be better. Although Rogue's ability to split is insane. Again, if you're counting on your opponent to make a mistake at this level of StarCraft, you're going to lose. You can't do it. You can hope they make a mistake, but you got to play to where you assume they're going to play perfectly. And in that case, Disruptors are just not the answer. And Disruptors really, really expect your opponent to screw up somewhere. So Overlord comes in, and where's the robotics bay? No, but seriously, where is it? Did he cancel it? Anyway, Adepts, wow. Adepts really going for it here. Just kidding, they canceled. Coming up the front here, and Spinecrawler pretty good. Getting some free shots off. It does go down. Okay, by that I mean 1 shot off here. Force fielding out Rogue from coming down to save his third, and force fielding the Roaches and Raptors on the right side from running away. There's only 1 Immortal here. It's mostly Adepts, and I just don't see this working out super duper well for Classic, although Rogue once again, okay, he does manage to hold here. A lot of these Adepts are injured. He was making a robotics support bay. Yeah, he canceled it. It must have gotten scouted or something because he gave up on that. Okay, now he's restarting it here inside the natural base. Hanging out on the dance floor. Partying with the Ewok. It's so bright. You think? I don't know. The rest of the map is pretty dark. It seems pretty bright to walk on that thing and then come over here. But I guess, I don't know, there's lights there and here. And maybe I'm just up in the night about this one. Really just scouting thus far are the Adepts. Still no third base from Classic, which the Overlord is really interested in scouting. Classic's like, look, I can't get up to 3 bases. I can't let Rogue feel comfortable enough to go into that Swarm Host Nidus play. And he hasn't been, to this point, no Infestation Pit. Just kidding. As, oh, that's a Baneling Nest. Oh, he decided maybe the threat is big enough that Banelings would be really good. It is a Disruptor. Dang. Classic believes in his ability to get Nova shots off. Or maybe, again, just thinks that Rogue isn't good at it. Either way, I just don't feel good about it. Couple free roaches here. Nothing too crazy. Of course, the Bile's dodged quite ably. And the Bile evaporates on contact, which is really nice. And Rogue's taking a 4th base. Dude, Classic, you have to take a 3rd. And he is. And he is. Do we have any upgrades anywhere? Not really. +1 missile is done for the Zerg, but really nothing other than Resonating Glaives for Classic. Meanwhile, Adepts and Warp Prisms doing stuff up here in the main, getting absolutely shoved away. And more Disruptors being created. These guys are trying to get out, but they can't. They have to get shuttled out by Warp Prism because it's so blocked down here in the natural base. Like how their pathing's kind of like, guys, help me get out of here. War Prism's like, all right, yes, I'll unload your stuff. I'm really surprised that Rogue is allowing Classic to just sit back and take this 3rd. I guess the army supply isn't that really big of a difference, but a lot of these are Adepts, and Adepts just start losing their utility towards the end game as things get crazy. Ooh, Dropper Lords and Banelings on the way. Okay, we're going to see some Baneling drops. We're going to see an Infestation Pit on the way now here inside the main. Okay, here we go. Here goes Rogue. Going for the Baneling drops. Here goes Classic going for Disruptor hits. Let's see how this works out, shall we? Oh my gosh. Are these plus... No, these aren't +2, so they don't one-shot. They're not even... Well, they are +1. So they don't one-shot the probes, but if 2 Banelings explode on the probes, they die. One's enough to bring them down to less than 50% total health, and the other one will finish them off. In Splash, mind you. So Splash damage, really, really good here against these workers. Alright, Nova comes in and actually gets a bunch of Banelings. Okay. Alright. Can't split with Banelings because, well, Banelings that are morphing in anyway because they are, they're stationary. Banelings trying to crash in on these Adepts. Meanwhile, the drop is coming on in here too. Too much chaos right now in the game. 1, 2, 3. Where are you going? Okay, that was miscontrolled. That's totally fine. Nova comes in. Bam! Couple Ravagers going down. M. Canning is so happy to see this game right now, to see his Disruptors used against a Zerg opponent who's going Roach Ravager. And Classic making some really good choices here. He hangs onto his third base. He only lost 6 probes during that attack because Rogue's control was bad. Did he F2 those Banelings or what? I don't know. Oh gosh, it's so hard to run! He's not even splitting! Dude, Classic was right. Classic was right to do this. Rogue is not splitting at all. It's hard to do. I just thought Rogue was more capable of it than this, and perhaps he is not. We got more drops, though. More Baneling drops coming on in, trying to get into that third base and wreck it, if at all possible. Hive on the way from Rogue. 25 Banelings in production is so many Banelings right now. Catches a Queen, gets a shot off anyway. And then we get the drop into the third base. 4, and doing a little bit better with the Banelings that time, but God, look how injured these are. They got 1 HP. Right, well, when you have +2 melee attack, you do in fact one-shot those probes, so keep that in mind as that +2 keeps ticking on in here. Rogue has a 5th base, because of course he does. He's better economically right now. Baneling trying to get hits off, not really accomplishing much. I don't think they got a single kill there, which is not what you want to see. Phoenix trying to chase away these Overlords so that future drops are a little bit harder to do. Very smart choice there for sure. So Hive on the way here from Rogue. And where are we with it's Nova? Go! So many Banelings, but the surround is real. And the Banelings are chasing and crushing and killing. And that's it. Rogue takes the win. Just getting the full surround of Banelings, finishing off the Protoss player rather abruptly for how long this game had been going on already. But wow. Fantastic. Fantastic job there out of Rogue, getting the win there in game number 3 and taking the win, or taking the lead in the series, at least. Whew, I mean, the resources lost here pretty even. I gotta say, Zerg player lost a ton of stuff, right? 42 Banelings, 30 Roaches, 9 Overlords, but only 3 drones, which is a big deal. Classic only lost 10 probes, which is a problem. But at the end of the day, Rogue's like, I'm gonna make is 100 million Banelings and surround you off creep, and then wreck all your stuff, and then I'm gonna win. And that's exactly what happened. He planned it out, it worked out. I mean, really, 75 Adepts, sure. 7 Disruptors, sure. 19 Sentries, man, that's a lot of dead stuff. That is a lot of dead stuff. And Classic just did not have an army remaining. Again, Rogues is not huge. He had 8 Roaches, 9 Ravagers, and 18 Banelings, but it was enough. It was enough to probably move across the map and kill that third and then win the game. So Rogue, disgusting. Disgusting play there. All right, so that's going to be it for Game 3. Let's move into Game 4. Anybody up for that? I feel like I'm up for that. So don't go anywhere. We will return. Classic, your back is against the wall. Being down 2-1 against Rogue is not a situation I would wish upon my worst enemy. But Triton is maybe the place to come back. Top left-hand corner is the red Zerg player, Rogue, and in the bottom right it is blue Classic. Whew! That last game, man. Rogue's like, hey Falcon, I don't like making Banelings. I will make 50 to 100 Banelings in this game. Alright, Rogue. You have convinced me. You are good with every single unit in the Zerg arsenal and do like making them when the situation calls for it. And that's how you become an elite StarCraft 2 player. Oh, holy smokes. That was incredible. Alright, well, what are we looking at here? Probe coming up around the left side. This looks a little sneaky to me. Like, a little sneaky? Like, proxy sneaky? Where are you going to put this thing? Where's it going to go? This is a weird place for it. Is it delayed scout? Dude, right here would be insane. Oh, he's doing it. Oh. Oh, he's doing it. That's a forge. He's got a forge too. Okay. All right. Classic's like, you know what I got to do is really not let Rogue get to the 10-minute mark of these games. So this is a good way to do it, man. We're going to... I love that delay too, because the Overlord scouted this eventually. Or a while ago, rather, right? But he's not going to come back around and scout it again. He scouted it once. We're totally safe. Now Probe comes in. La 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 la. Look at this drone. Drone's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Ah, it's time. It is time to wall yourself in with pylons. Oh my gosh, he's got that first cannon on the way. It protects these so effectively. Oh, Rogue. He's going to cancel one of the pylons. Yep, there's the cancel. Oh, we've seen this a million times. This, man, is considered... I don't know if this has style. This is a regular old cannon rush. This isn't even him. I guess he has a cybernetic core back home, so he could throw down a robotics facility here at some point. The drones can actually hit this one, and Lings are coming in. All right, so I think one of these is not going to happen. Lings are going to shut one of these down quite nicely, and possibly that one too. Yep, that one's a cancel. These ones are okay, and that one gets the free shots off. First hits off on that spine crawler is humongous. Oh my gosh, that spine is dead. And it is. And the cannon on the low ground trying to help. Look at him blocking off the pathing of the Zerglings so they can't jump on top of the... Get a full surround on these cannons. One is down. Dude, Classic is fighting for his life right now. Shield battery doesn't save the cannon. Shield battery was there to save the cannon. One cannon coming up is going to have 2 personal shield batteries to keep it healed up throughout this battle. And suddenly, invincible shield battery coming in. Oh my god. Oh, invincible cannon rather coming in thanks to these shield batteries. I've said it before. I still think shield batteries that are spawned away from home should not instantly have full energy. It's so good. It is so hard to deal with here. My gosh. All right. So Rogue is sitting on 18 workers. He's pretty happy about this. He has an invincible cannon sitting at him, shooting his face off though, which is bad. And now we've totally set Rogue apart from his main and his natural. Oh, this is incredible stuff. He's also walled up back home. So any Zerglings that come across can't really do anything at all. They're not getting through that wall, especially if Classic throws up a cannon, which he will if he needs to. Not that he does at this stage anyway, but the shield battery cannon. We've got a robotics facility on the way. And then we're going to start making some immortals, and this is where we win the game. Oh, that's not a good place to land. Cancel. Cancel. Reburrow. There we go. That's a better place. If you want to take down that robotics facility, better place here, but... There are cannons on the way. If you focus on the robotics facility, these cannons are going to come up. And I don't... Oh, there you go. Focusing on the cannons, the smarter thing to do here. But can you... Oh, I don't know if you can even let both of those come up. So the Lings are here. Yada, yada, yada. I think Classic will come over. Oh, it fills up a Stalker on the outside of the wall, actually. You don't want to get surrounded, guy. Oh, Stalker repositioning to a place where it won't get surrounded and then actually recalls it into the main. Oh, there. Oh, how do they both get up? I thought for sure one of those cannons would die. Oh, shield batteries, right. Shield batteries, of course. We have a single lonely spine crawler down below trying to take down everything up top, but it's going to take a while. And then we just make an immortal here at the 4-minute mark, and there are some roaches, but by golly, they suck against immortals, especially with shield battery support. And then you just sit at the top of the ramp, you kill the spine, and that's got to be a GG. Classic. Doing the right things here in the right way. Rogue going for Ravagers, but man, Immortal really living up to its name here. Takes down the spine crawler. Every time it gets hit, it just pulls back a little bit. Gets some new shield power. Shield Healy boy is there. No problem. Yeah, and there we go. Cannon coming up in case, I don't know, Rogue gets really insane. He is sending some roaches across the map, which is smart, but this Immortal right here is going to start racking up the kills here. He already has 3. Including a spine, which is really good stuff. And transfuses are good too, don't get me wrong. Rogue's transfuses are insanely good. And ever since they changed them to be a heal over time thing, ever since they changed that, they haven't been as good, but they're still really great. You should transfuse as much as you can, Zerg players. It's really tenuous right now for Classic, man. He is Army Supply 12 to 31 right now. But the cannons are a big deal. Oh, but the dual Immortal. GG! Second Immortal comes out. Classic does force the game 5 in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Only ends up losing 2 cannons and 2 shield batteries during that whole endeavor. 32 lings went down, 2 spines, and a queen. Beautiful cannon rush from Classic. Like, Protoss players, absolutely take note of what happened there. Copy it, and you will wreck some Lobby Zergs with it without question. That was so good. Oh, all right. Rogue didn't have time to get up a ton of Ravagers at all. Really never saturated his natural either. What a tough spot to be placed in. Ridiculously good. 19 drones killed, by the way. Oh, 19 left. Never mind. No drones killed. I'm reading the wrong thing. Okay, that means we go to an all-important game number 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what we're going to expect here. What are we expecting to see from this game at number 5? Those of you who have watched it know what we're in for. But, oh boy. This is incredible. All right, game 5 coming your way. If you want, pause the video, go get yourself a drink and a snack because this is going to be incredible. Hang tight. Game 5 hype on World of Sleepers, a large map known for macro games. Bottom left-hand corner. It's Classic. Let's switch these up real fast. There we go. Top right is Rogue. What a series this has been so far. Boy, Classic wins with the Proxy Adept. Proxy Resonating Glaive Adept play. And with a Cannon Rush. Rogue wins. The longer the game goes on, the better it is. The better of a chance there will be that Rogue wins the game. That's just the state of ZVP in the current patch, but as I said, there are big changes coming after BlizzCon, and maybe they already showed up. Maybe you already know how they worked out. Maybe you do. Infested Terrans removed. I'm kind of sad about that, but And sort of a blinding cloud given to the Infestor. But in reverse, right? So more like Dark Swarm, if you're familiar with Brood War. Although not as good as Dark Swarm. Because the radius of Dark Swarm is bigger, and it blocks ranged attacks from both ground and air enemies. So, give us Dark Swarm if you're taking away Infested Terrans. That's all I have to say to the Blizzard Balance team. Whoosh. All right, Classic. Do you have anything else up your sleeve today for this Sunday series? If you don't, then I don't know. Maybe Rogue's gonna move on here. Maybe. All right, Rogue scouting in with the Overlord, trying to see what is going on, and I mean, boy, pins and needles here. What we're gonna see next? What we're gonna see coming up next here? Bloop. Have I mentioned I'm out on Twitch? Follow me on twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin. Great place to hang out if you are into watching me do live stuff. I do live Brood War. I really need to do a Play StarCraft 2 with subs event again. It's been such a long time. I feel so bad. I feel bad for you guys. I need to do one. Like, just come at me and be like, dude, Falcon, do another Play StarCraft 2 with Falcon event. We'll be there, and you will. You've always come to the ones in the past. We'll do it on Twitch. You can do stuff and be famous and be on the internets. That's how that works, right? Anyway, Classic throwing down a Twilight Council opening. Okie doke. Rogue doing all the standard things he always wants to do in a ZVP. Honestly, probably fairly similar to the same build he does in ZVT as well. It's incredibly safe. You get the handful of Zerglings out, you get the Queens out, you get the third base down about 2.5 minutes, and from there, nothing's crazy. Not really until the lair comes up do we start seeing weird stuff and start to see what we're up to. Whoa! Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine coming up for Classic. All right, man. We got a Dark Shrine on the way. Now, this could just be for Archons. We've seen a Dark Shrine used in the past to go for that Archon harass, but you know what? There's not a robotics facility, so we are seeing just straight up DTs here, which I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out. Rogue, you got your spores on the way? Yep, spore on the way. And are we going to respect the fact that you're not scouting what this is? Overlord does recognize we got a wall off with 2 gateways. Cybernetics Core is working on Warp Gate, so that's not insane. And we got a pylon up here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very sneaky pylon that Rogue does not know exists. All right. What are we playing at here? What is the play? 3.5 minutes into the game, almost at the 4-minute mark. Rogue has not really been bothered. There haven't been an Adept in attacks. There hasn't been an Oracle coming across. Dude, at this point, you really just have to, I would be throwing up detection. Spores. I would expect something that I would need spores for at this stage of the game. And in fairness, he is getting a spore up at his 3rd, so that's good. The natural base is being protected by queens to some extent, and that was not too far away, so maybe he feels like he doesn't need to lose it. Oh, there is actually a robotics facility coming up, so maybe it's just going to be Archons. Except for the fact that that is Shadow Stride. DT Blink being researched. Ladies and gentlemen, since when? Since when do we ever have DT Blink being researched? This first DT shows up. Goes after the spore at the natural base. And, oh, the transfuses, keeping it alive just in the nick of time there. 2 drones going down. DT's pulling back. 8 drones in production. Rogue feeling really confident here. He's like, you went DTs and only killed 2 drones? Ridiculous. What you don't know, my friend, is that Shadow Stride is on the way. That makes DTs be able to blink in really fast, instantly attack something. And it makes it really hard to attack them on the way in. DTs, again, Lings aren't going to do anything against a DT frontier. They will hack and kill you all day. More Dark Templar in production here. That Shadow Stride is almost done. It takes forever to get there because it's a really good ability. But yeah, man, it's just nothing. There's a forge, nothing but gateways coming up here. Classic is on that 4 gas income that you need in this particular situation. More DTs coming in now. Oh my gosh, the DTs are out. Oh, they're going to use the Observer to blink onto the high ground when it's done. Shadow Stride almost done. Here goes nothing. There's a spore and a queen up there. There is nothing to defend. What even is? There are 17 Lings and 6 roaches. Oh, they're waiting. They're waiting too for their thing to cool down. 3rd base not going to happen. That's a cancel. Lings make sure of that, but then they come in. Ah, they're going right after the lair. There's nothing to stop them. The drones are being pulled off the line to try to stop this from happening, but the DT, oh, the damage is insanely good, and then they just blink out of there. They blink out of range, and then the recall back home. Oh, the lair does get sniped by the attack. 8 drones die in the process, and we are back to a situation of a 2-base Zerg to a 2-basing Protoss. Ladies and gentlemen, Classic has managed to do it again. Rebuilding his lair, Rogue is right now. He can't make any more Overseers. He's turning some of these dudes into Archons, if not maybe all of them into Archons. And Rogue needs to be making roaches right the heck now. He's replacing his main. He's going for that lair. Does he have Glial Reconstitution? Oh, he got it started before the lair got sniped. That's massive. And he does find the forward pylon. Oh, 3rd base coming up from Classic 2. And these are Zealots. Are these even charge lots? These aren't not even charge lots. It's getting started. Well, it's actually almost done at this stage. Dude, this is going to be really standard Archon charge lot stuff here. And the only question is, will Rogue have enough to hold on? That's the question of the day. Will he have enough units to deal with it? We saw him handle it very easily on in game number 1. Ling's checking to see, is there a base we can kill? Can we jump on this army? Heck no. Not with Zealots and Archons. Lings are the worst possible units to make in that situation. You need the roaches. Without roaches, you pretty much just die. Speed is done. Charge is complete. 3 base in Classic here versus a... Well, actually, Rogue does manage. Oh, he blinks a DT into the main as well. Gets a drone. Gets a creep tumor and gets out of there. Just really stupid effective stuff thus far from this Dark Templar play. Alright, so Rogue is still up 130 to 16 supply. He is replacing his lair, so he's normalizing here a little bit. He's up 52 to 47 workers. The problem is it's a 3-basing Protoss to a 3-basing Zerg. And the assimilator, the high... God, what's it called? I'm so excited I'm forgetting what this is called right now. The Vespine that does more gas per return than a regular one is here. High value? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Let's go on. Let's move on, though. Army supply 93 to 74 in favor of Rogue, but a lot of that is in roaches. Meanwhile, Ling's rolling on in to try to deal with this third base. Single DT, happily shoving them away. But, oh, there's detection now. Now there's detection. And the DT is going to go down. And all this gas income is done. But here comes Classic. He's got force fields. He's got 4 Immortals. He's got the Archons at the front. Rogue, can't he hold on here? Corrosive Piles are landing, getting some decent hits on top of those Immortals. Continuing to push on in with the Archons at the front, dodging the Corrosive Piles as best as he can. Immortals taking some shots regardless here. The third base is in a lot of trouble. Zealots happily going after this drone. I'm surprised that Rogue didn't pull out with these drones and move them to the main base, but I guess he's already saturated there regardless. Drones now are retreating from the situation. The third base is down. Rogue is down to a 2-base economy. He's trying to kite back as much as he can, and the armor supply is even, but again, when there are roaches, that is not a good thing to be here. All 4 Immortals are still alive. Archons pushing into this group. DTs in the mix as well. Can they hold on? The question is, Archons are going down. Army supply for Rogue is plummeting. We're at 34 army supply. Classic barely hanging on here. And GG Classic manages to win the series in 9 minutes and 56 seconds for game number 5. Oh. Was that the moment? Was that the moment of StarCraft 2 in 2019? I want to say that it was. The DT Shadow Stride Blink Rush, getting up here, jumping in, taking down the lair, taking out 8 drones with it, jumping out, escaping, turning those into Archons, making a few Immortals, and then just pushing across and getting the win. How gutsy do you have to be as a Protoss player to pull that build out in a Game 5 against Rogue at BlizzCon? How much belief do you have to have in yourself to do that? Because it was a lot. It was a lot of belief. Wow. I mean, resources lost here. 12,700 for Rogue and only 4,900 for Classic. That's insanity. 20 Zealots, 3 Archons, 1 Dark Templar died that whole game. Handful of other units here, but 55 drones, 43 roaches, 10 Ravagers, 2 lairs go down, and the third base hatchery out. If you kill 2 lairs and a hatchery in 10 minutes against a Zerg player, you've probably won the game. That is a big deal. That is a big, big, big way to win that game. Oh, that was incredible. What a ridiculous game 5. This is getting an epic tag. Oh, I don't even know what we're doing here right now. Oh, what a ridiculous just game series. That happened in a 5th game of a best of 5, everyone. Immortals, 6 kills, 5 kills, 5 kills, 10 kills, 13 kills, 15 kills, 12 kills, 7 kills, 24 kills, and 11 kills on these Immortals and Archons. Really, really paying for themselves. And yeah, they're bad against Swarm Hosts, but if you can get them out to the point when Rogue doesn't have those available, he looks very regular. Very beatable. Classic moves on. We're going to be doing more BlizzCon replays. Let me just tell you that much. We will be doing more here on the channel. Don't even worry about that. Oh, amazing stuff. Amazing, amazing stuff. All right. Okay. I don't even... Where are we with this? Somewhere. I guess it's time to wrap it up. All right, I just gotta go. Let's just wrap this up and get out of here. Okay, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.